smoking, it's a revolution. Revolution, revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. Execution, execution. It's being us versus the corrupt. Red dot, put a cross to your head. Let the Lord interrupt. Interrupt, interrupt. Gun smoking, it's a revolution. Revolution, revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. Execution, execution.
Hey, let's go. Woo, 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 woo. How you doing?
Oh, what is up? Don Welch. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, guys, welcome to the Liberty Goons podcast. My name is Don Welch. You guys know me for the music. Instagram, Don Welch, at Don Welch Music. This is John. You guys know him from the 2A Patriot Ranch for the sick gun reviews. And, man, have we got a show for you guys today. John, let's just go ahead and hop into it, man.
Yeah, man. What a freaking week it has been since our last episode. Huge shout out to everybody. I think we are getting some traction that I don't think either of us expected right off the bat. We appreciate all of you peoples out there that are watching. It means the world to us to see it and to have people commenting. So really appreciate that.
Yeah, and hold up. If you're watching this now, take a pause, go drop a like, drop a comment anytime during this whole entire video, and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell. We need you to hit the bell so you know when
you get notified.
Yep. Let's go.
Yes. So, man, jumping into the week that was, yesterday I went to the Trump rally.
Oh, tell me about it.
I wish I could tell you more, but I left early. So in full transparency, it was 107 degrees yesterday in Miami, and brutal heat. So I went down there, I parked in the parking lot, took the bus over. They have like these shuttle buses, was standing in line. Man, I got there like fairly early. I got there about 5 hours before like Trump was going to speak, because that's when they opened up the doors. And the line was already like 400 or 500 people long when I got there. And I waited for maybe about a half an hour. And then in that half an hour, people were dropping like flies. I'm talking like just passing out. This one lady passed out like right in front of my feet. It was crazy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm out. So I went home and I watched it on RSBN's live stream of it. Side note, have you watched RSBN before on YouTube at all?
I have not. No. It's
a very, very conservative. It's called Right Side. It's a Right Side Business Network or something like that. Very pro Trump. Their commentators are the worst I've ever heard in my life. It's so bad. It was so bad. Now, and granted, I did feel bad for them because they were standing out there in that heat too. But they were god awful. Anyway, so man, Trump had some doozies last night. I will say, you know, I watched the whole thing once I got back home, and the way he delivers a message, I mean, there's just no comparing him and Joe Biden. Like, there's just no comparison at them getting up there and being able to speak. He does this thing at the end of each of his like rallies where it's this like dramatic music, and he delivers his agenda in this like dramatic voice. And I got chills, man. I got chills. And you could just see everybody in the crowd was just like, whoa, like, dude, this is some powerful shit.
He's sharp. He's super sharp. He's energetic. And by the way, he outlasted you during his Trump rally, man. I mean, think about that. That dude's a machine. A little overweight, a little, catching up in the.
He was in full suit. He was in a full suit.
Bro, I don't care what anybody says, man. That man is. You're a machine. 170 degree weather. I walk outside and I try to shoot on the weekends for like 3 hours, and I'm dying. I'm like begging to go back inside. I'm like, this is miserable. I could not imagine doing it in a suit. And
he didn't miss a beat. He was so on point the entire time. My favorite part, he challenged Joe Biden to a golf match. Did you see this?
Yeah.
He said he'd give him 10 strokes per side, so 20 strokes across the whole match, and told Joe that if Joe Biden beats him, he'll donate $1 million to the charity of his choice. $1 million. Like,
I mean, he doesn't even have to do that because after they play and he loses, you know, I mean, well, one, he's not going to win anyways, regardless. Joe's not. But even if Trump did lose, which is never going to happen, he would forget that he even bet him $1 million.
Trump said, and Trump is right about this. Like, some people are going to look at this as like a braggadocious thing, but Trump was like, it'll be the most watched sport event of this year.
Oh yeah,
he is 100% correct,
bro. I will be beer in hand, chicken wings on the grill, bro. Just like watching that for all day long.
What if we do this? Because this would be really, really good because it would get the left to buy into something. What if we do $29.99 pay-per-view and we fund the border wall?
Everybody can jump in on that. That's a genius idea.
People all over the world.
If you know Trump, get at us. That was our idea.
Hit us up. Hit us up. Do you want to know who got the... I would say close to the biggest standing ovation. It was kind of a tie, but who got the biggest standing ovation last night? Outside of Trump, obviously.
Tell me.
Barron
Really?
Trump. It was the first time he went to a rally, and his dad said, you know, my third son's here, you know, Barron, and Barron stands up. The crowd went freaking nuts.
Dude,
nuts.
That kid's super sharp. I watched like a little thing on him, and I mean, he knows like 5 different languages. I mean,
he's a smart kid.
Super smart, and it's like he's also like 6'9". I'm like, why aren't you like playing basketball? And then I think his dad said he played soccer or something. I'm like, what is going on? What do you do?
Yeah,
why are you playing soccer?
He stood up, you know, obviously to like wave to the crowd, and it was like obvious how
much taller he was.
Yeah, how big he was. Who else was there? Oh, Alina Abba. Oh my God, I love her. She is so fantastic. Like, she's a beast.
You know, I wish that she wasn't the lawyer because she'd be an awesome speaker. Press
secretary.
Press secretary. Yeah, she'd be a fire press secretary.
How about AG? Do you think it has a chance of happening? You and I have not even talked about this.
Alina
Habba, press secretary.
That would be.
I mean, attorney general.
Oh, dude, that would be sick. I still think it's gonna be my boy Ken Paxton, but AG would be sick too.
Which, I mean, obviously, I'm all for. I'm all for that.
I want a pro gun guy in there, man. I need a pro gun guy in there.
Speaking of attorneys general. I think it's attorneys general, right? Not attorney generals. Attorneys general. Yeah. We're fucking idiots.
We never said we were smart.
Another one of our favorite girls, women, ladies, Anna Paulina Luna.
Oh yeah, man! What a fireball! What? Absolute fireball!
A boss bee, like badass. She is going for the jugular on Merrick Garland. Finally, somebody is.
Dude, she's just grabbing her nuts and freaking teabagging Garland at this point.
Oh yeah,
Straight
like
up.
The brass cojones on this lady is just insane. You know, obviously for those of you watching, you know, the House voted to hold Merrick Garland in contempt, and the DOJ is refusing to do anything about it. And so Anna Paulina Luna said, F that. I'm going to file contempt charges and have the sergeant at arms arrest this motherfucker.
Yeah. And then on top of that, she was going to charge him $10,000 a day that he didn't.
Jeez.
10 racks a day until he releases the tapes that of Joe, which is crazy, man. 10 G's. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that Garland's got some money, but he ain't got 10 G's a day.
Money.
He ain't got that type of money. No,
he ain't got that money. That's a lot of guns. You know what you can do for 10 G's? God.
Bro, that's a 50 BMG a day, fam.
I was about to say it's a Barrett a day. But man, what a boss lady. I can't wait to see her future as it progresses. She is from the great state of Florida here. All these badass women, man. Alina Habba, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Anna Paulina Luna, like just some awesome freaking people.
Yeah,
awesome
I mean,
freaking
I'm
people,
all
dude.
I'm all for it. I mean, and honestly, they do a lot better than men do because they're just in your face and they can get away with saying so much more than what men can.
Yes.
So we can't get away with saying crazy stuff. I mean, not crazy stuff. I mean, we just can't get away with saying anything anymore, you know? Especially us. We're the most hated humans on the planet. Two white straight males, bro. Gun-toting people. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're
speaking into a camera now. Woo, we are definitely hated. We are definitely hated. Oh, man. Yeah, what a badass. Anna Paulina Luna, if you would, we're reaching out now. If anybody knows her.
Yes.
Or Alina Habba.
Yes.
We want you on the podcast. We want you on the podcast.
We have so many questions.
Anna, you probably don't run your own social media, but check your DMs. Liberty Goons might have slid up in there.
Yeah.
Trying to get you on the podcast. Don't get any weird thoughts, people.
Yeah. No, we want to talk to her because everything that she's been doing has been so excellent and so, you know, pro freedom and very constitutionalist. Yeah, I mean, she's been a beast here lately. She's actually, I mean, believe it or not, like usually, what is it, MTG or what's her?
Yeah. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah. Yeah, usually she's the big time vocal one, but I feel like she's kind of like taking a step back, and Anna Paulina Luna is just like the new go-getter on the horizon for the women in the Republican Party. So
yep, I love it, man. I love it, man. So you knew this was going to happen. It happened 4 years ago. It happened 8 years ago, but the deep state has some opinions. Russia is trying to boost Trump's election chances.
Right. Yeah. Just let me just tell you guys, if Trump is the last person that Putin wants to see as president, I can promise you that. If you guys don't know this, when Trump was president, he slapped hard sanctions. He also stopped the pipeline that was going from Russia into Germany. He slapped Iran with all of these restrictions and sanctions, and I mean that's the reason why Iran was broke. You would have never had. Well, let's just go over it. You would have never had the Russian-Ukraine war, and you would have never had the Hamas-Israel war right now. If
Hamas wouldn't have been funded.
Yeah, because Iran is who's funding essentially Hamas
Iran was
single-handedly.
Iran was broke. China tried to start buying oil from Iran during President Trump's administration. And Trump said, no, we are not doing this. Yeah. And said, no, you can't freaking do that. What's Biden do? Here you go, guys. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, he was also trying to sign a nuclear deal with them too, which is just like, what? Like mind-blowing.
We're going to get into some of that here in a little bit.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, it's crazy. It's crazy to even think that any Republican would have anything to do with Russia at all, period. It's just wild. I mean, like I said, think about this. Biden allowed for the Nord Stream 2 pipeline to be tapped and drilled. Okay? It wasn't happening at all underneath Trump. Then the Nord Stream.
Do you think we blew that thing up?
Well, that's what I was going to get into, actually. And then
sorry.
I'll cut it close. I'll cut it close. I'll cut it after that. But essentially, what happened is Trump said no way. Biden comes in and says yes way. The reason why they wanted to do that in case you guys don't know, is because Biden, he didn't want to give out leases. He didn't want to give out contracts for oil in America at all. He wanted to stop that, end it all, so he could appease his far left-wing side of the party. And he had planned on buying oil the whole entire time via Germany through the way of Russia. That was his whole game plan, okay? Because he knows that we need oil. He's not going to stop that. It's not possible. You'd have a bunch of starving people in America if you just decided to stop oil. There's no way that our grid can handle an electric battery. It's not possible, people.
If he had just not fucked up Trump's policies, we had energy independence 4.5 years ago. 4 years ago.
And yes, I do think that he 100% blew it up because he was like, well, now Russia's getting funded by Germany still and all these other European countries. And if we don't blow this up, they're going to keep paying for that oil. So it's like, yeah, they're paying for that oil, which is funding Russian, but yet then all of the United Nations or NATO is over here funding Ukraine. It's like you're just rinsing and repeating money. It's insane. It's insanity. So
it is insane. And to think for 1 second that Russia wants Trump to come in. He said last night at his rally, I will have that war over before I even take my first seat in the Oval Office.
Yeah. And I to be honest with you, I kind of believe him. Yeah. I mean, which is crazy because I if anybody else told me that, I'd say no. But I mean, the amount of stuff that Trump accomplished when he was president was probably the most ever. And he did it with no Congress, no Senate. People forget 2 years after he was in, the House was Democrat, the Senate was Democrat. And he still was banging through things and getting stuff done just from, just swinging his Johnson around, telling other countries what they're going to do. So,
man, he couldn't have said that any better. He's a man that gets shit done.
Yeah.
Gets shit done. GSD. I used to have an old boss. He had a sign behind his, we were on like Zoom calls and stuff, and it said GSD on it. Man, so did you get a chance to read George Clooney's op-ed?
Nah, tell me about it.
So obviously I know you got some strong feelings on this. We should probably preface this. I know you heard Joe Biden on Morning Joe. How did that go?
That was that was so unbelievably bad. But let's just say this. So he comes in and says, these elitists are trying to control me and trying to get me out. And that's all he talks about. And he's talking about, the media. He's talking about, famous people because he's, he wants to stay in power. So now he's got to go after all these people that put him in power. I think he forgets the elites are the ones who put him in power, and Joe Biden himself is an elite, but he has got Alzheimer's, so he forgets that.
Meanwhile, one of those elites, the main bro of Barack Obama, the elite of the elite, George Clooney, was feverishly typing away his op-ed saying Joe's got to go, that he can't run the country anymore, and that he is basically a feeble old man. I got a lot of problems with this, Don.
Yeah,
I got a lot of problems with this.
I mean, me too. I mean, 3 weeks ago, obviously, George Clooney, I mean, he was doing a rally for him to gain money. So, how is he saying that now? 3 weeks ago, he was over there promoting him, saying he's the best thing since sliced bread, and he's getting him money. And now all of a sudden he's like, oh, well, I love Joe, but he's got to go. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
my boy Dave Portnoy, a man of many words, said it best. When asked about it, he said, "You're just now fucking figuring this out? We've known that this guy's been a vegetable for 2.5, 3 years, and you guys just keep rolling him out. Where the fuck have you been?"
Well, they've all known this. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, since he got elected, right? Even before he got elected, they saw Joe as, okay, this is basement Joe. We're going to hide him from everybody, and we're going to put in all of our far left-wing policies and just cram it down the United States freaking mouth. And Joe's not going to do anything because he's not going to say anything because he's not going to ever get on camera. And that's essentially what he's done for the past 4 years, except every time he is on camera, he's either stumbling, mumbling, or he's falling off of something, you know? I mean, that's essentially all that guy can do. So to say that, you know, it is insanity. They've all known. The whole Democrat Party knows.
They've known.
And whether you put Joe Biden in, or, you know, whoever else that you want to, Gretchen Wilson or Whitmore or whatever, or you put in Gavin Scum Newsom, I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It's all the same. The borders are still going to be left wide open. Inflation is still going to be insane. Those policies aren't changing. Those are the Democrats' policies. Point blank, period.
Gretchen Wilson, I just want to say I apologize for his mistake right there. Your country ass did not deserve that. You did not deserve that, and I apologize on Don's behalf.
Wrong one. Their names are too close, bro.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. No, you're right, and they've known all along. And I will say, in this show we don't put feathers in our own caps very often, but I'm going to put one in my cap because I told you last episode that the Stephanopoulos interview was going to be a setup, and they were going to take Joe down because this has been a coordinated effort since day one to get him out of office. It didn't start at this last debate. It started long before then. And they were setting the stage and setting the stage and setting the stage. And then they rolled his vegetable ass out on that stage. And then they went, "Oh my God. Look,
we didn't know.
We didn't know.
He's so bad.
Oh my God. What happened to him?" And then somehow, in a matter of 24 hours, there is a massive mainstream media push to get rid of Joe Biden. You think that happened overnight?
No, this has all been pre-planned. It's been pre-planned forever. You know,
Joe and the Ho got to go.
Yeah. I mean, well, they don't like Kamala either.
No.
That's the last person they want in there because she's an heir.
Did you love, for the first 48 hours, not a single person in the mainstream media was mentioning Kamala as the alternative.
No, unless you turned on a conservative or libertarian network, you were never hearing that name.
Or the Liberty Goons.
Yeah, or the Liberty Goons, us. You were not hearing that. Yeah, I mean, they've known this for a really, really long time. You were right about the whole Stephanopoulos thing. I'll admit it, I was wrong on that. I thought they're probably going to edit the video. They're probably going to try to make him look as good as possible. We know that Stephanopoulos is in his back pocket, but hey, man, they're strict party people. So if the party says, "Hey, we're going to veer this way," then they'll turn and burn their own people. They've been doing that forever. And I think people forget that. Tulsi Gabbard, who is on our watch list, I mean, she got turned and burned pretty bad too,
That she did. And then Stephanopoulos this morning just took it a step further.
Oh, yeah.
Destroyed him again.
He repeated, he literally quoted him word for word on Morning Joe.
With the pauses.
With the pauses.
I'm telling you, this is a coordinated effort to take him down. And I don't know if they're going to succeed or not. TBD. We'll do an episode on that sometime. I don't know if they're actually going to succeed or not. But George Clooney, he went for that jugular.
Yeah,
he went.
100.
Man,
but, you know, $260 million is going to be hard to get rid of them, bro.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, hey, you know what? I forgot something in our news recap, man, and I apologize because this affects your state down there. We just had Hurricane Beryl roll through.
Hurricane Beryl came through and burrowed everybody.
Yeah, burrowed over everybody.
Yeah,
man, how's it going down there in your state, dude?
Well, we are good in the area that I live in. Unfortunately, Houston got racked really hard. So our thoughts and prayers out to everybody that lives in Houston or the Houston area. I mean, there was over 1 million people without electricity. So super, super sad. If you guys don't know this, Houston is the 4th largest city in America. So 1 million people is a ton of people. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I was watching the news and I saw this guy standing on top of a truck and his whole entire truck was covered with water and they had flown in a helicopter to come and save the guy. So, I mean, it was pretty crazy, not to mention, I mean, it knocked off like half of everybody's Wi-Fi in the state of Texas. Like nobody had Wi-Fi, like all of Spectrum was down. So a lot of crazy stuff, but I think we're in the clear now. So we just got a lot of cleanup that's going to happen in Houston. And like I said, our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I saw that area in Sargent just, absolutely destroyed, water up to roofs and everything. And man, if you guys want to donate or volunteer for a good organization, I know the people at World Central Kitchen are down there in the Houston area right now. They're a not-for-profit, non-governmental organization. They provide food relief, founded by a Spanish chef. His name's Jose Andres. They're down there in that area providing food and to aid workers and to the community. And you can reach them at wck.org. I know that everybody down there would really appreciate it. I just wanted to make sure that we touched on that subject. It's something that's obviously close to you and in your state down there. And then also, both you and I went through one last year, Hurricane Idalia up in northern Florida. So,
yeah,
man, what craziness. They're predicting a pretty busy storm season. That thing was a Cat 5, the earliest on record, I believe. Tore through the Caribbean. Tore through the Yucatan, Cancun, Tulum, Cozumel, that whole area, went to a tropical storm and then came back to a hurricane up into Texas. So,
insane.
Yeah. T's and P's, man. T's and P's.
Yep.
Man. So as you guys know, we like to break things down into segments. Don't we?
Oh yeah.
We like our segments. We're going to expand this segment this week so that we add more of our extra stuff into this same segment, because I think everything we're going to talk about today, it fits right in here. It's time for
Trigger warning. Let's go. This is probably one of my favorite segments.
I love this segment. This is definitely one of my favorite things that we do.
Yeah. And
let's should we start off with the one that you just haven't heard about yet, because that's generally how we've started.
Let's just do that, man. Yeah.
Let's keep it going that way. This is why I love it, because I get to talk to you about something that you haven't heard about and get your initial reactions, and all of this is real and honest, and I love that. So obviously in the past couple months, last year and a half or so, there's been a push by some credit card companies, by some banks, to either start creating lists of people that are purchasing firearms, or to just outright disallow firearms purchases. And this week, a bank called the Idaho Central Credit Union sent out their terms of service. And amongst a lot of other things, I don't have the list right in front of me right now, but the list was very extravagant. no firearm purchases with their credit cards. No firearm purchases with their credit cards.
That's insanity. You know it's even more insane to me. Like when I think of Idaho, like I don't think of it as like a liberal state by any means, right? Like Idaho is like a pretty conservative state, and I would say like 90% of that state is pretty rural, right? So like you're gonna have a lot of like farmers or hunters. That's just a wild to me that they could do that. Also, I want to say this. I think that it's super unconstitutional that they can do that because one, it's your money, but two, the Supreme Court really needs to come down and somebody needs to send this to the Supreme Court, because how are they allowed to track what you're buying? It would be like if I went to the gas station and you said, oh, well, today you bought Advil, you bought an orange soda and a bag of peanuts.
Well, to give you
like,
some idea how this works, because I've worked with payment processors for most of my career in my industry. So each business that you go to, they're given a code by the processor. So like, let's say you go to the grocery store. They have a grocery code, or if you go to a retail store, they have a retail code. So everybody individually has like a code. And so those codes are then transferred. So they won't know, like, say you go to Jim Bob's gun store and you buy, a Radian AR, right? Mm-hmm. And you spend $3,400 of your hard-earned money. They don't know that you bought the Radian. But because Jim Bob's processor has to annotate that it's firearms, they know that you bought firearms. And
yeah, which I don't really understand this because, okay, so
it shouldn't matter.
So I'll give you a little heads up. I was trying to buy a Staccato XC. I use Bank of America. I tried to purchase the Staccato XC with my Bank of America card. It got declined. Not declined because
you didn't have any fucking money.
Not declined because I didn't have money. So here's what happened. They said, "Oh, it's your purchase has been declined," and I was like, "What? There's no way." So I literally called the bank with them on the phone, and I was like, "Hey, I just tried to purchase this," and then they tried to tell me, "Oh, okay, well, we'll send you up and we'll schedule a call for you." So then they called me back 3 days later, by the way.
Wow.
I'm at the gun store trying to buy this. Called me 3 days later and then told me that I had suspicious transactions. And I said, okay, well, it's not a suspicious transaction. And then they're like, okay, well, you can't buy a gun with this. They straight up told me you cannot buy a gun. And I said, well, how did you know I was buying a gun? I was like, because maybe I just decided I was going to buy, $5,000 worth of ammo. Or maybe I needed, $5,000 worth of boots and I was going to go give them to, homeless people. Like, how do you specifically know that that's what I was getting? Just because it's a gun store and it's coded, which brings me into the next thing. I know somebody also that has a credit union and they went to Academy and they didn't even buy anything from Academy as far as like guns go. They purchased
because the whole business is coded as for firearms.
Yep. So then it's like you can't even shop at Academy now, which is insane. And in case you guys don't know what Academy is and you guys live in a different place, Academy is like our sporting goods store. It's where I would say 90% of people just rush into real quick before they go to the range and just, pick up some range ammo. They sell guns there. They sell a lot of athletic wear, camping supplies, bicycles, gym equipment. I mean, they sell
because
everything.
They sell guns, they're coded as a firearms.
Yeah, it's
retail. It's crazy. So, and the amount of stuff that was on here, I mean, it was like, it was ammunition, firearms, porn, I believe was on there. It was like a bunch of different things. So obviously the backlash was crazy, right? Like people freaking went nuts in Idaho about this. They pulled their terms of service off their website, which is why I couldn't get it. I couldn't pull it up because it's not on their website anymore.
Yeah, and they're allowed to change their terms of services too, which I think is insane. It's absolutely nuts.
So
because here's the other thing.
It all.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing that's crazy about that too. So let's say I wanted to go take out $5,000 and I wanted to buy, something. It doesn't make a difference what it is. I can't even take out that $5,000 from a bank. They're not even going to let me take it out. I have tried to do that, and they tell you, oh, you have to wait for 24 hours and then come back, and they give you a time to come back in to take out money, which is insanity.
Yeah, unless you go to large branches, they will do that. That's why, man, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. But we're going to talk about this over at 2A Patriot Ranch on our 4-part SHTF series about how easy it's going to be for the banks to collapse during some sort of civil unrest because of exactly what you just said. Those banks do not carry the money to be able to give it to you. So what happens when everybody tries to run to the bank and grab their money? Complete collapse, complete and utter chaos. Like I said, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. Stay tuned over to A Patriot Ranch for that. But craziness. Hey, at least thumbs up. They took it down. They listened to their credit union members and they changed it. They don't get a pass because they did in the first place. But kudos to them for changing it up. So
there you go.
Yeah, man. I know something that's near and dear to both of our hearts. Veterans and guns, and veterans with guns. I'm a veteran. I have guns.
Yeah. So, I'll kind of get into this little topic here. I actually was watching this today, and I messaged John. I was telling John about what was going on. So, essentially, there was and I actually have it written down somewhere here. Let me pull this up so I don't screw this up here for you guys. Essentially, what happened in Congress, if you let's say you're bad at financing your money, you're not good financially, right? And you decide that you need somebody to look over your money and help you with your money, right? Yep, exactly. Essentially, what will happen is the VA says, okay, well, you're not good at finances, so you shouldn't be able to own a gun, which is insane. So you're talking
about they're putting mental health and inability to control your finances together.
Yep. Yeah. So essentially, what had happened today? Okay, so Congress has already voted this. And the law came out and said, hey, no, this is unconstitutional what you're doing. All right. They made a new law because what they did is the ATF used the Brady Act in order to implement this law. Okay. For mental health. And it's not a law. Yeah. A rule. Okay. So today you want to talk about just getting super, furious at the TV or at your computer. And we're going to have this. I think we're going to actually end up showing this to you guys. But the VA director, Fraley, told Congress today that he was not going to follow the laws of Congress. And do we have that queued up? Can you just go ahead and show this?
Let's watch it.
I don't even want to get into this. I want him to say it for himself so you guys can see how insane the left-wing administrative executive branch has become. Super unconstitutional. It's disgusting. Go ahead and roll that tape for us.
And if you're going to stop watching right now, do not stop watching right now. Do not turn us off right now. This is 1 minute and 46 seconds that you absolutely have to watch. Here we go.
Yeah. VA's testimony stated that if the Veterans Second Amendment Restoration Act is signed into law, and this is even more troubling, the VA could not comply because the VA states the Department of Justice, an executive branch agency, affirmed VA's interpretation of the Brady Act. So, is it the VA's position that the VA will not comply with an act of Congress based on another agency's interpretation of the law?
So the VA has always works to comply with all laws. We complied with the Brady Handgun Act when it was in effect. The law.
So again, is the VA's position, because based on the statement, they could not comply with the Restoration Act, the Veterans Second Amendment Restoration Act, is it your position that you will not comply with an act of law passed by Congress?
Yes, sir. I guess based off of what you have in testimony, yes, sir.
That you would not comply?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm glad everybody hears that on the record, that the VA is going to refuse to comply with, regardless of what we actually pass here, including questions that Representative Self was just asking in view of the Chevron Act being passed. Mr. Chair, I have just a couple more questions, but I think that Mr. Friel has incriminated himself and the VA that they're going to have complete disregard for what we're going to do anyway. So
Mr. Friel, you're very well aware of how you just answered the congressman's question, correct?
Sir, as I said, it's in our testimony that we would have trouble complying with that law. As I said,
Mr. Friel, you're very well aware of how you answered the congressman's question.
yes, sir.
Wow.
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 And just so you guys know, I don't know if you, because I've actually never seen him as a chairperson before, but that was
Really?
Marcus Luttrell's
Marcus Luttrell. Marcus Luttrell.
Yeah, it was Marcus Luttrell's brother.
Yeah.
I'm going to give some comments here, Don, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to change my seating position here, too, because I'm a little fired up. I'm a veteran of this country. I served my country honorably for 6 years. Fuck anybody that for any reason wants to take away my right to protect me, myself, my family, my neighbors, my friends, anybody. I'm saying it right here, Director Friel, fuck you.
Yeah.
Lefties, fuck you. We went to war with guns. Half of the mental health issues that we have in the veteran community are because you fucking sent us there.
Yeah.
And to have this douchebag sit up there and tell Congress that they are going to disregard an act of Congress, the law, not a rulemaking. They're going to disregard the law. The guy should be impeached from his position tomorrow, and he should be thrown in fucking jail.
Yeah, that's like I told you earlier. This is 100% an act of treason. Anything that's going against this is going against the Constitution first and foremost. It's going against any congressional act. He straight up told you, yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about your laws, and he doesn't give a fuck about your rights or anything like that. And we're not talking about mental health. This has nothing to do with mental health, people. So we're not saying, oh, yeah, let Joe Schmo, who's acting insane and, on drugs or something like that, get a gun. No. This is about finances, which is insanity. You're talking about somebody, oh, I couldn't afford my bill, so I need a little bit of help this month, so I need to try to find somebody that can help me figure this out. Well, now you can't protect yourself anymore.
It could just be your wife. Like, you could go in and
Yes.
they say, hey, so you know how you doing with your finances? And you could simply say, oh, I don't handle any of that stuff. My wife does it all for me.
Yeah, which is a lot of human beings, man. A lot of men. I mean, I know tons of people, especially older people that are breadwinners. They bring the money home. The wife deals with everything. They pay all the bills. They do it all. The man just goes to work, does his job, brings home the bacon.
Hey, ladies out there, I want the opposite thing. You go out and make some bread. I'll control the finances. I'm single. Hit me up.
He'll be your fiduciary.
I'll be your fiduciary. Man, fuck that guy. And we talk about the quote unquote deep state and unelected bureaucrats. This is the motherfucker we're talking about, right?
Well, yeah, because this guy is not a person. He's not an elected official. Okay.
No.
He's spitting on Congress. He's spitting on the Constitution and telling you to go fuck yourself. And he's not going to listen to the laws, which is crazy because they just talked about this too on there. The Chevron Doctrine Act is gone. There is no more Chevron. You know, it's or Chevron or however you want to say it, Chevron.
Chevron deference.
What Chevron deference is no longer a thing. And in case you guys don't know what that is, essentially Chevron deference says, okay, the executive branch can interpretate laws, and then they can make those rules, which are not laws, they're rules. Okay. And the Supreme Court said, you guys have been doing this for way too long, and you guys have been playing the system, and we're not doing that anymore. This is done and over with. And if Congress wants a law to pass, then they better be clear about it, because if it's not exactly word for word, then you guys have no say over it.
Exactly. Yeah. If there is any ambiguity in any rulemaking procedure or any law, the deference now goes to the people and not to the agency. And man, that's the third time I've watched that video, and I'm shaking right now how angry I am, because this is, guys, we don't get to see this very often. The reason I wanted everybody to stay and watch that minute and 46 seconds is because we don't actually get to see somebody just be outright contrite like this very often.
With a smug fucking bitch face, bro. That shit made me so angry. Oh, man.
Who is he? Man, that got me fired up. Gosh.
Sorry. I'm cursing over here, so if there's any children watching, my apologies.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I post this, I always hit no, not made for kids. Because it's not. But
there you go.
You should know that shit. Your kids should know that shit. Man, what a travesty. Man, so we told you trigger warnings. That's why we had to make this segment a little bigger today, because we got some trigger warnings for you.
If that doesn't fire you up, you don't have a pulse as a human being.
No. Speaking of trigger warnings, let's talk about the finger being on the proverbial trigger. Nuclear war.
You told me that we were going to talk about nuclear war, and once again,
what the fuck?
I was like, all right, don't tell me about it. Just tell it to me over here, and we'll have a discussion about it. So
we won't spend a ton of time on this today, guys, because I want to do a more verbose, full episode on nuclear war and where we stand as a world right now. But somebody that Don and I both respect and watch a lot, Mr. Sean Ryan. If you guys don't follow him on all the platforms, you absolutely need to. Sean is not only a tremendous individual, he is a veteran. He was a former Navy SEAL, former CIA contractor. The guy has probably some of the most amazing guests on his podcast of anybody in the game right now. I think we all aspire to be at his level. You know, he had on, her name's Annie Jacobson, and Annie is considered like the foremost expert on nuclear war in the civilian, spectrum. She's talking to people like Leon Panetta and the general in charge of Strategic Air Command, SATCOM. And Sean Ryan had her on his show just a couple days ago. You should go over there and watch it if you get a chance. And they got into a very long discussion about the U.S.'s response to nuclear war, what happens, almost like, because I think she just released a book that goes like almost minute by minute in the book through like what happens when, like, let's say an adversary launches a nuclear weapon. And so, like, in her scenario, North Korea launches a nuclear weapon. And I believe it takes something like 28 minutes or 30 minutes, something like that, to reach the mainland United States. And just kind of goes through the processes that happen after we detect. First, we have satellites on North Korea at all times. So we know as soon as one of their silos would open up, we would 100% know. We would know within seconds. We would know right away.
Yeah.
For the U.S. to do a counterstrike, we have to have a secondary notification. We need to confirm, secondary confirmation, I should say, which can happen from other satellites we have in the sky. We have nuclear watch stations around the world. It can all happen very, very fast. Within minutes, you've got total confirmation that this thing was shot. And then that's when we go to work. Do you know how many? Take a guess. I'm going to have we always do this on this segment. This is the Don Guess segment. How many nuclear weapons would we send back at North Korea if they fired one at us?
I don't know, because that's a good question. Because I mean, if you shot more than one, holy cow, the whole world's probably going to end with 2 nuclear warheads coming at each other. I don't know. I would say 1.
81.
Holy cow.
If they fire one warhead at us, we fire exactly 81 nuclear warheads back.
That's insane.
That country would cease to exist.
I mean, I feel like nuclear is so crazy, because it's like, I'm all for, I think that you should be able to own a 50 BMG machine gun. You should be able to own a, fighter jet, whatever it is that you want to own. But like, nuclear is crazy, because it's not just like, it's like world ending. It's not just like, I'll go to war with you, you shoot at me, I shoot back at you. No, it's like, that's it. Wrap, done.
We have, and I don't have the exact number wrote down here, so it's a roundabout number on the ready. And now I'm talking about around the world and through this country, what we could get going at a moment's notice, pull the trigger basically. It was like 13 or 14, maybe it was up to 16, I can't remember, somewhere in the teen hundreds of nuclear warheads ready to go. That means they're on missiles ready to fire.
So how would you shoot 81 then? That's my question. How is it 81 if we have 16 that are ready to go?
No. 1,600.
Oh, 1,600. Whoa.
We have 1,600 warheads that are literally ready to be shot right now.
That's insanity, dude.
And it's like 30 more than the next closest, which is Russia.
Which Russia, probably half theirs don't work either, but that's neither here nor
who
there.
knows? And then in stockpiles, we have thousands more that are like, hey, given if we had to, you can start to roll those things out and get them prepped on missiles and get them down the tubes and, the whole 9 yards. But ready to go, we have it was like 1,600. I just really encourage, we talked in episode 1 about how we'll let people know that they should go watch other podcasts. And Sean Ryan's podcast is one that y'all need to go watch.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was eye-opening. It was almost to the point where like I didn't want to watch it anymore. Like I almost wanted to stop.
Yeah, it's like real life scary. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, like it gives me chills even thinking about that. Like what travesty that would have on the world. I mean, we all saw what happened to Japan. I mean, and that was, which is even crazier, right? Because when we dropped that, we dropped it from a plane, right? So just getting shot from God knows where to the next place and it reaching that location is on a whole nother level of whoa. Yeah.
All right, guys. Up next, we have
the watch list.
Love it. I freaking love it. This is the watch list. We have Isis Don with us to introduce the watch list. Because I won't do it. So
Look, man, I like AKs. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Sometimes I like to go in the desert and just walk around and shoot AKs. I don't know. Get in Adidas tracksuits
in your sandals
and my sandals, fam, and
oh man,
over the barricade.
Oh, my
All right, we're
as
gonna
you
get
guys
canceled.
know, right? This segment is called The Watch List. Each and every episode, we add one of your favorite people in the world to the watch list. And this week, we are adding Child's Play himself, Chucky Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. Oh, yeah.
Chuck Schumer, you have been added to
the watch
list.
Yeah, so let's see here. The reason why we're putting Chuck Schumer on the watch list, well, one, he's a slime ball. So if you're a slime ball, you're probably going to get put on the watch list. It's just that
Guaranteed.
simple. Just don't be a slime ball and you won't get put on here. But we're going to go over a few things of why he's on our watch list. I'm going to start off with something that I think is crazy. So everybody knows the border is out of control, right? It's absolutely insane. There's 1,600 terrorists that have now been caught into the country. God knows how many more that are still floating around in here. Even the FBI saying, hey, the chances of us having a terrorist attack is extremely likely. As I say that with my, get up on. But the reason why I want to say this for is, so if you guys don't know, earlier this year, Congress passed the bill HR 2. Okay. So House Resolution 2, that bill essentially says you cannot come into this country at all, period, full stop. Nobody. Okay. Now, there are certain things that you can come into, but like, hey, if you're coming in, you're not coming in at a port of entry, like you're done. Nah, we're sending you back home. That's it. Right? Basically, remain in Mexico. That's essentially what HR 2 is. So and then they brought it up to the Senate. Chuck Schumer refused to sign it. Fast forward a little bit, as you guys all know, then the Democrats came out with a new bill that allowed 5,000 illegal immigrants to come in every single day before they were even going to do a thing about it. And they said, oh, this is the strictest, immigration border patrol bill that was ever came into that's came into the Senate. Okay, but it wasn't, because HR 2 was. They just refused to pick the bill up. And now that's why they're, all these Democrats are like, oh, well, if the Republicans cared, it's like, no. If the Democrats cared. And let me tell you how crazy this is. So when Trump was president, Trump didn't even need Congress, didn't even need the Senate. He did it himself. Okay. He put these executive orders himself and said, nah more, you're done. You're out of here. You can't come in here. Remain in Mexico stays. Okay. So yeah, the politics behind this are absolutely insane. So that was my first little take on why he's on the watch list. Go ahead and get after yours.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Chuck Schumer is the reason that the HR 2 wasn't taken up and put to the floor. And, I have a laundry list of Chuck Schumer failures, but we're not going to do this like we did Gavin Newsom last week. My first one is the most recent reason that Chuck Schumer is a douche. He came out yesterday and basically said he's going to continue to support President Biden, that he thinks there's nothing wrong and that we have to do whatever we can to beat Trump. And his man is Joe Biden.
Yeah.
This Child's Play Chucky Schumer motherfucker coming out saying, yeah, I'm going to support a vegetable.
Yeah. You know why? Because he's doing all of Chuck Schumer's bidding. He's doing all of the far left's bidding. That's what he's doing. So, and let me tell you guys, if you guys are a Democrat on here, or you're a Republican, or you're a Libertarian, it doesn't make a difference. We're giving it to you exactly how we feel. I'm not your traditional, Republican. Anyways, I'm more of a Libertarian conservative. We vote for, most of the time Republicans on here. Me and John both do, but we vote for. I probably both of us are. We vote strictly based on the Constitution, and that's the most important thing. If you're not a constitutionalist, we're not voting for you. That and the economy. So,
Exactly. The other thing that pisses me off about Chucky Schumer, God, man, there's just so much. I think you and I have the same problem with the Ukraine war. We follow more the Vivek Ramaswamy Bible line of thinking about the Ukrainian war, and really most world wars, wars in the world, I should say. Chucky Schumer invited President Zelensky to speak to the Senate. What does this dude have anything to do with speaking on the floor of the Senate? He came to ask for money, is what he did.
Yeah, I mean he's pimping him out. Essentially at the end of the day, and here's the thing, guys. We just don't believe in the war at all. Period.
No.
Like it's not that we know that people are dying, and we know that Ukraine is dramatically losing this war, and we're the only people holding this war up. Okay. Now, this war never needed to start in the first place, which we talked about earlier, because if he would have just left everything alone, if Joe Biden would have just came into office and he would have just not done anything and just let Trump's policies just play out by themselves, there would have been a zero war. Zero, period. And, now we're in the situation that we're in. Needless to say, I don't really give a fuck about Russia or Ukraine. We don't need to be sending our tax dollars over there. And, that's how I look at it. I mean, sorry.
200 billion.
Sorry.
Tax dollars.
We have starving people in this country. We have homeless people here in this country. We have veterans that are homeless in here. So for anybody to say, I hate when Democrats are like, oh, well, we're not doing enough for people. No, you're sending all the money to go do all the things that need to happen here, right? All these things. $200 billion is life-changing amount of money. That could clean up, guaranteed. We take out California because we don't really care about California. Sorry, California. But you remove California out of this equation, $200 billion will clean up all of the homeless, period, in the whole rest of the United States. Point blank, period.
Well, if they could find that 53 billion that we talked about last episode that they lost, might help. But yeah, Chucky Schumer is supporter number one of the war in Ukraine. He is supporter number one of President Zelensky, the man in the olive drab t-shirt, if you will. I don't get it. And Chucky Schumer, you're a douche for trying to push it on us.
Yep. And then worst of all, so he's trying to get President Netanyahu completely thrown out. He's I don't know what he's going to try to do, but essentially he doesn't want President Netanyahu to even be in his position anymore, and has been making all types of crazy, insane, like wild threats towards Netanyahu. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
Yeah. It's hilarious because you invite one president to speak on the floor of the Senate, and you want another one ousted, one that's trying to support your own religion.
Yeah, because he's Jewish.
Trying to support the Jewish faith and the Jewish people. Look, I'm not here to talk about which side of this war is right or wrong or indifferent. That's a topic for another time.
Yep.
But a sitting senator trying to overthrow a foreign president, foreign prime minister is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And to think for Chucky Schumer to think that he has the power to do it says a lot about our country. It says a lot about Joe Biden, because Trump would have called, let's say it was Mike Johnson. Trump would have called Mike Johnson and said, "Hey, you're out of your fucking lane, bro.
Yeah.
I don't, you need to go worry about your state. Chucky Schumer, how about you go worry about New York?
Yeah.
Not Israel.
Yep.
Like that's not your lane. Like get the fuck out of it."
Yep.
My favorite Chuck Schumer moment came, I guess it was, when did Herschel Walker run for Senate? Was that 2 years ago?
2022. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 2022. And Schumer was caught on a hot mic talking to Joe Biden and basically said that what was his name, Warlock? I think it was Herschel Walker's brother.
It's Warnock, not Warlock, but I like Warlock better.
Warlock, whatever the hell his name is, little troll. Said he doesn't have a chance to win. He says it on a hot mic to Joe Biden. Oh my God! Like what a classic shit show that Chuck Schumer is.
It's just wild to me with Chuck Schumer that you would go against your own people, right? He's Jewish, right? So you're going to go against your religion, your beliefs, where all this started. Judaism started in Israel, right? You're going to go against all that so you can pander to the far left to get some Muslim votes. Insane, bro. That's how delusional and how far, like, these people have zero morals. They don't even have morals for their own religion, let alone you or I. They don't care about anybody. They care about their power, and that's it.
I will give Child's Play Chucky. Trump needs to start taking my nicknames, by the way. Child's Play Chucky, I will give him credit for one thing. So he has a very, very, very small majority in the Senate, right? 1 by 1.
Oh, that's about dick. I was like, where's this going?
We talk about politicians' dicks too much on here. He has a very, very small majority by 1 in the Senate. And he is able to do damage with that small majority. God, man, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
I got to give him credit, right? He has built up a war chest and favors and whatever else that he's needed to really, really do some damage. And it's sad to say, because the last person that we need doing damage is Chuck Schumer.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a psycho. He is essentially a communist at this point. I mean, that's what he is at the end of the day. He's a communist. But it's wild to me that he can do that. But the problem with Republicans the problem with the conservative party is that we still believe that we can have our own minds and do our own things. And like, we have all this individualism because that's what conservatism is. That's what libertarianism is. It's you can think that's fine, but I'll think this over here, but we can still come together and do something, right? Where the Democrats, no, bro, you will be ousted. I mean, perfect example, Tulsi Gabbard. You will be ousted from the party if you don't just zip it and fall back in line. And that's why they can do so much stuff. It's not that they have these great, amazing ideas that are like, oh yeah, we're all coming together because of this one big idea and let's change the world. No, it's because they work from the top up. The top up tells them what to do. Obama tells them what to do, and they shut the fuck up and they listen and they follow suit and they hope and pray to God that they'll be, the next president, or they'll get some more money in their back pocket to, run their next election. And that's all it is.
It is, and you're 100% right. The Republicans and the Conservative Party, they think that things are just going to be okay because at the end of the day, the greater good will prevail.
Yep.
And they're not willing to get dirty. They're not willing to get down in the mud and play like pigs in order to get the job done. And unfortunately, the time has passed to be playing like poodles. Yep. It's time to get dirty. It's time to get muddy. I love Trump's messaging right now on voting. He said, look, we got to beat them at their own game. Go out and vote early. Send your mail-in ballot in. Whatever you got to do, we have to overwhelm them with support. Total annihilation. Play their game, And that's the kind of forward thinking that we need.
I agree. I agree. I think if we don't start changing, it's not changing the ideas of the Republican parties. It's changing the strategies on how to get things done.
That's all it is strategies. We've got the platforms. And, I love when Democrats try to say like, oh, what's your platform? You don't have a platform. You're right. Because we don't need this like grandiose platform. All we want is freedom.
Yeah.
That's it. We want liberty. We want freedom. We want to follow the Constitution.
Well,
our platform, people.
Our platform is the Constitution.
Exactly.
That's the difference. Our platform is the Constitution, and they have their whole idea is, hey, let's run on socialism / communism, and we'll give you something, so please vote for us. And that's what they've always done. And then, clearly if anybody says that a Republican is a fascist, bro, you don't have any idea what a fascist is. Like, you have no fucking clue. It's insanity to me that they've been able to get these names to stick on conservatives. And it's like, if you guys, people forget, the Republican Party freed the slaves, okay? The Republican Party put in the first black ever Supreme Court justice. Okay. We are so far from racist. We are so far from being fascist. We really, truly just believe in the morals of the Constitution. We believe freedom for all, and we believe in it in its entirety. And that's the only platform that you need. And that's the only platform that you should need as an American, because guess what? If you're a cop, you have to swear an oath to the Constitution. If you're in the military, you got to swear an oath to the Constitution. When you're in a public office, you have to swear an oath to the Constitution. That is our platform. They're the only ones that have left that.
Yep. You couldn't be more correct. And I think that a lot of people just get stuck on that. They get stuck on that thought that, like, we're the people that, we're the fascists and we're the people that are intolerant and everything. I'm going to play a snippet here. This wasn't planned, but I'm going to play a snippet here. And this is Truer Words Never Spoken. So listen to this.
Someone very profoundly once said, many years ago, that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism. And what is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation. Well, isn't this the liberal philosophy? The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket. and let me have more control of my own destiny.
Amen. Amen, Reagan.
Couldn't have been said any better, right?
Yep.
Like, I wish I could broadcast that to everybody. I wish we could get 100,000 views just on that alone. But back to Chuck Schumer, my little child's play motherfucker. You have officially been added to the Liberty Goons
Watch
list.
Yeah. And we
Welcome back, Don. ISIS Don is gone. Don Welch is back.
You know, when
I love it, man.
When I'm talking about terrorists, I just sometimes have to look like one, you know? I got to be in their ball game. I got to be in their wheelhouse. So what better way?
Man, so let's recap. We're third episode. We've added Tulsi Gabbard, Gavin Newsom, and Child's Play Chucky to the watch list.
Well, Child's Play Chucky. I love that name, dude. We need to get that out to Trump just so I can laugh, you know?
I know, right? We got... what was the other one we had come up with? I forget. Greasy Gavin. Man, so what do you got going on this week, Don Welch?
Well, not a whole lot, man. We practiced a little bit earlier this week. That was a lot of fun. You know, we had a little bit of a band practice this weekend. I'm going to be shooting a USPSA match with some of the boys, which my girlfriend always makes fun of me. Hopefully these guys are watching this because they're gonna laugh. She showed me a video one time of these old men, and it's like this young guy, and then he's like talking to his girl, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna go hang out with the boys," and she's like, "The boys," and he's like, "Yeah, the boys," and he like points at them, and they're like, it's a bunch of old guys, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much me. That's pretty much my life, dude.
When are we going to hear this new song?
Hopefully soon. So this song has been done for a really long time. In case you guys don't know, essentially, I had my YouTube channel completely removed off the internet last year sometime. And you know, I had 100,000 subscribers on it, and it got nuked. I have a YouTube channel up. It's my backup YouTube channel. I've had that backup for a really long time, probably 8 or 9 years. That channel's still up. So I'm just trying to figure out what is the best way to put this out. So I actually might. I mean, I'm just coming off the top of my head. We might roll out and do a invite for a podcast. All right. So we might do a drawing. So if I put this on pre-sale, I think this is what we're going to do. Actually, I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head, but I think we're going to do a pre-sale, and then we'll do a drawing on here for the pre-sale. Okay. And then we'll invite them onto the podcast.
I love it. I love the idea. We do a lot of spitball in here. I love it.
I mean, that's how we come up with. If you guys don't know this, we this is all off the top of our head. This whole entire thing. We're, you know, we get off work and then we roll in here and we just, you know, spit hot fire. Dial on.
Spitting hot fire. I love it, man. I'm heading up to the ranch. I believe maybe Friday. I think. Ton of new guns to review. I think last time we talked about the TTI combat. I got a.
We got to shoot it yet?
No, I have not shot it yet. I haven't been up to the ranch, man. I'm here in Miami, and I don't trust these shooting ranges, except for Warrior. I know you guys watch this, so I love you guys over there. But I have the 22 ARC to shoot. I have a CZ-P10F to shoot, and then today, just picked up the new SIG. We got the SIG logo right here. Just picked up SIG, the P365 Fuse. It is the 4.7 inch, basically X macro-ish, with two 21 round mags that it comes with.
It's insane. That gun's so insane because it's like a mini pistol, right? But like full length, but like mini inside. I don't even, it like blows my mind even looking at that gun. I'm like, what the heck is this? But
Yes.
it's awesome, man. It looks sick. I'm not gonna lie. And 21 rounds is crazy
And
for
I
how
love that
small that gun is.
gun companies are starting to listen. So SIG actually put two 21 rounds and a 17 round mag in there because it's the same size frame on the grip module as the X Macro, which takes 17 round mags. So you get a 17 and two 21s. And I was watching somebody else that was reviewing it, and they're like, I don't think you would conceal carry this, motherfucker. I'm gonna have both 21s on my hip and the 17 in the gun. You think I won't carry it like that? Hell, yes, I will.
I carry a full size Staccato P every single day. I mean, that gun, that SIG is so light. It's like you're not. I wouldn't even know that I have it on. Yeah, it's crazy.
Featherweight.
It's crazy to me that they made that little tiny gun capable of actually shooting carry optics in USPSA because it's that small. It's that small. It's that small, but yet holds that many around. So you could compete with it in USPSA, no problem.
You
IDPA
absolutely
too.
could. Yep.
Yeah.
You absolutely could. So yeah, I've got all those to do. I think you have convinced me to go buy a Staccato tomorrow. After our conversation from earlier, it was a Scar 17S, a Radian Mod 1, or a Staccato, and your boy over here, Don, said to get the Staccato. So I think we might do that. But head up to the ranch. We got a ton of content to film. I've been backlogged a little bit. I've been stuck here in Miami doing some stuff. So time to get back out to the ranch. Once again, guys, if you have not gotten your tickets yet, Goals, the GOA conference, is in August 17th and 18th in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And your boys will be there. Yeah.
The Liberty Goons will be there. I will be there with two different hats on as 2A Patriot Ranch and Liberty Goons. We're going to be doing some live podcasts there, which is going to be exciting. We've got some guests already lined up.
You know what this means? We need to have shirts printed out before we go. And if you come and say hey to us, we'll give away the first 3 shirts if you come and say hey to us, mate. How about we do that?
Deal. Done. See, spitballing ideas.
Spitball ideas.
If you come see us at Goals,
yep,
we will give out the first 3 people that roll up to us. We'll give you guys free T-shirts.
But you have to say these secret words: Liberty Goons Podcast. That's the first thing you have to say to us. That's it.
No. One more thing. We got to make this a little bit harder, Don.
Okay, we got to make it harder? Okay.
You have to tell us who your favorite watch list person is.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That way you have to come back and watch. So
yeah, you got to come back and watch. So we'll be at Goals. Really excited. They're having a media range day on the 16th. So Don and I will be out there shooting some guns. Really excited about that one. Man. As always, we promote the Second Amendment. We promote concealed carrying, open carrying, whatever your state allows, carrying to protect you, yourself, and your family every single day. That is what Don and I stand for. That is, part of the Liberty Goons philosophy. It's why we wanted to get on here and talk to you all and get some feelings out. We love all the comments. Keep them coming. Send us the DMs on Instagram too. If you're not following us on Instagram, it is at Liberty Goons. We're posting previews of each episode prior to release. We post probably the funniest memes we can find as well, pretty much on the reg, on the daily. So excited about that. Man, what a great week. And we'll be following up, probably in about 4 days with episode number 4. So stay tuned for that. But for now, Liberty Goons
out.